Hi everybody, this is the trade log from David, who lives and trades in Australia. He has attended the futures workshop a bit more than 6 months ago, and he was a complete novice. And he has really matured into a mature trader. Well, how? Well, I can see it in his comments and how he trades. Well, obviously, having been a novice, he still needs to eradicate a couple of mistakes, but he's doing really well. And I just wanted to show you his trade log. He has achieved his weekly R goal, and let's just first read his commentary. So he still has FOMO. Well, FOMO is very normal, right? Fear of missing out, fear of missing opportunities. As you overcome that, and that might well be with more and more experience, you at some point of time you will let it go as you understand trading with FOMO is not working. But you want to look at beliefs as well. And he really made a great rule here not to trade the second charts, because second charts, it gets more and more difficult, especially as far as FOMO is concerned, right? It's basically something to work towards. If you can master the 1 minute or the 5 minute, then you add one lower time frame and try to trade well to flawlessly execute the rules while in a good mental state without FOMO. So he's still forcing trades, which is kind of typical, right? But he's able to tune as well at times, right, at certain days, into a relaxed, very selective mental state, and he's able to pass on trades. Well, that tells me that on some days, he feels FOMO, especially with the lower time frames, and on other days he's really doing well mental state wise, and he's fine to pass by trades. So there's no FOMO, right? If you can do that. And to just give you a metaphor that might help you. If you're dating, right, that's a great mental state too. You're relaxed, you're very selective, and you pass on, dating opportunities, right? You want to be relaxed. You want to let the pattern come to you. I think that's a great metaphor. So he's reached his weekly R goal, and let's just have a look. Actually 3.5 R. Let's have a look at his trades. He took a couple of them. That's a 1 minute as one long in the US equities. Well, that's a nice one consolidation. I don't see a test bar, right? So being the first trade of the week, there might have been FOMO here, seeing a pattern and wanting to get in. You could say, that looks like a stacked up test bar, but looking from a distance, that's not a big bar, right? So that's basically a trade to let go, especially in the beginning of the week as you take the first couple of trades, the first 1 or 2 trades. You want to be extra selective and quality because we are kind of motivated, right, to get a good R rolling in the beginning of the week. We don't want to start the week with a 1 R loss, and that's what happened here. And it looks like that's a test bar in the making, right? So you got stopped out probably by the test bar. Next one, S2, 1 minute. That's an S2, right? It's good quality, very good quality S2. It's skewed to the right. We've got a couple of very precise touches to the ATR. We've got a high quality test bar, right? That's great here. The low frame, let's have a look at the mid frame. It's an oval sideways, so that dampens my passion for the trade. We've got a touch of 21, 2 touches. It is in EMA trend mode, but that limits, right, price potential, the 200. So it does, and we're basically already pushing against the 21. It's in an EMA trend down, pushing against 21. So that tells that this does not have swing potential. What is the game plan here? It could spike the 200 and we could get a big green bar. So this could be a quick winner, right? It has elements of an MOB. So with that, we're looking for a tight stop, and it looks like that's what he did here. That's the entry. Typically, if that's the test bar, where you look right from the test bar, what is the last dominant high? It's this one. So the official entry is up here. But you could say as well, there was a test bar. That's another test bar. Because that's too big of a stop for that trade idea, right? So then, if you want to take this, and you should know that it has a lower probability, then you can say this is a test bar. Then actually this would be the entry, right? And that would be the stop. well, stop would be more or less the same. Or you could say, well, to be a bit more safe, well, let's put it the initial stop loss at the first test bar, right, of the two. So that's fine. Now let's see how that developed. Well, we spiked the 200, but it early on found resistance. So this idea of the 200 spike didn't work, and that was a small R, and half an hour loss, right? Or you can, there was, yeah, this charting situation with oval sideways, right, and limited potential and meeting resistance. Well, that's basically what could have been expected, right? Now we've got a platinum. So yeah, David is really good in trading different symbols, and it looks like he likes the 1 minute chart. So that's an S1. Well, that's a fantastic quality, right? Strong and long momentum move, very clear, precise base, many touches, relatively precise, right? Relatively thin, the pattern. So we can expect a big move because it's basically only one stop run level, right? Which is a consolidation high. Very good test bar, relatively tight stop, right? That gives you like a 6-to-1 reward to risk. We've got a very nice test of 21. We've got a rejection bar here, where you can say this is another test bar, so that it's stacked up. So that gives you basically 2 test bars, right? It's a little bit of an added bonus. We're in an EMA trend, and this is starting to move, and that's in an EMA trend too. So that's a high quality trade, right? And let's see how that did. So okay, yeah, it went here, the consolidation high, then it shied away. It took a little bit of rest here, the bulls, right, to find the energy to break it, and that's the stop run move, right? These bars, and let's see. Then as I read, he moved the stop to the 2R level because his day was over, and then it basically got stopped out here. That is fine, right? Instead of taking full profit, it's always better to move the stop and let it room so that it has the opportunity to move higher. So that was a good trade, right? Now another 1 minute S2 long. Okay, that's a below average quality. I don't see it, like looking from a distance. It's not very obvious that that's an S2, right? Lowest low, okay. That's the ATL. If this is a test bar, well, the last dominant high is this one. So applying discretion here on the entry with a low quality pattern, well, that's a bit dangerous, and it actually never broke the last dominant high, right? This came close, but it never broke it. Well, that's the second mouse principle, right? So you caught up in the first mouse. And that was well, it looks like it actually has transformed into an S1, one time frame higher, right? So focus on good quality. Now that's an S1 long on a 15 minute. So he's good taking trades on different time frames. Now let's have a look at that. Momentum move, that's the base. Very nice compression here. Well, that's a test bar, right? That is testing the 21. It never triggered. Well, now we've got an even better test bar, which is this one. And that's basically the entry at the base. And we've got a series of stop run levels. So that is really nice. And this is even another test bar in the making. So if I see this, right, test bar is here, and there's a stacked up test bar in addition. And that's the hourly chart. If it's just a few minutes to close that, to close the hour, well, sometimes then I just say, okay, let's wait for this to close, and let's wait for this to break higher too. But that looks good. EMA trend, and oh, there's a stop run opportunity, right? So that has swing potential. That looks pretty good. So let's see what happened. So it went off. It did not, well, that broke the consolidation high. It did not produce a lot of follow through. Well, that's kind of a bit frustrating, right? And it went into a long stretch, right, without getting stopped out. A long stretch is not necessarily a problem. Very often, if it takes time, the bulls are accumulating energy, and the longer it takes, well, the longer the move you can expect. So don't get Don't get too negative on long stretches, right? Um, the stop was at half risk and it was never threatened. What we see here, basically, it comes back to touch the base, right? It finds a support and then it goes off. That's a big stop run move, right? It's basically breaking the consolidation high and taking out all this energy that is stored in this long stretch. And that went to, well, that went beyond the 6R level, and he took profit here. He banked in at 5R full profits to make his weekly R goal. So great. That's what you should do, right? Towards the end of the week, just to bank in full profit and look at a fulfillment of your weekly R goal. So that's a sign of a mature trader. He has internalized the rule of achieving minimum 2R, and this is how he did it. So congrats. Very well done.